It's a wrong one. Hold on, y'all. We live. Anybody they say live on that, but I always want to make sure. Hold on. I don't see it, y'all. Anybody logged on? Okay, I see it now.
I see you on here.
All right, I see it. I just be wanting to make sure. I don't see it, y'all. I want to say ETM Hotel, Dua Aku, Dua Necha, Reni Kofi Piesie, Fatmu Alafie, Fatmu Iwa Pele, Igun Majube Iba Igungun Kiki, Igungun. I always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors. Without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. Let's share my screen real quick. And after I share my screen and start to show off, I'll let the people on the panel speak first, and then we'll go into presentation. Peace to the folks in the chat that's already joined. If y'all don't mind, could you please share the show. I think everybody gonna enjoy it. Oh man, I'm finna find something.
Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor of the knowledge of himself, he becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. His faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man.
Red in my team, red, black, and green, queen, the king, salute, now scream, I share, bring from below the end, I share, vibe with it, I'm red in my team, red, black, and green, queen, the king, salute, now scream, I share, bring from below the end, I share, vibe with it, I
share. Oh man, hold on, let me see. No, hold on, y'all. All right, I did that backwards, but I'll go back to that. I did that backwards. Okay, but everybody knows on my platform, I always do at Hotel Dino Soup. I always want to honor and revere those ancestors who had transitioned, who has left a legacy, a great legacy behind. So today I want to honor Amos N. Wilson, y'all. Man, Amos N. Wilson. For those that may not know who Amos Wilson is an African-American psychologist. He's an author. He's a Pan-African. He's a scholar. He has many videos on YouTube. He has a lot of nice publications. At the top, we have the transliteration. At the top, we have the sesh. In the middle, we have the transliteration. And at the bottom, we have the translation. So I'm going to read the transliteration and the translation. Hotep di Nasuk Wasir Neb Jadu Necha Neb Adu DF Paret Karet in Haket Ka Apet Sesh Minket Neb Neferet Wabet Ump Necha N Ka Makaru. And often in which the king give Wasir, Lord of Jadu, the great deity, Lord of Obites, that he may give and voice offering of calf, fowl and linen, alabaster, and all that is good and pure things in which a deity lives, the revered ones, Amos N. Wilson, justified or true of voice. Send the link through the hangout. Hey, Satep.
What's up?
Hey, can you send? Asar says send the link through the Hangout.
Okay.
All right. Again, I always want to honor the ancestors with a Hotep Dina suit and Amos Wilson. This is some of his publications, real quick, before we get started. Just for those that may not be up on who Amos Wilson is, or may want to purchase some of his work. Black Power, the Blueprint for Black Power, the Moral, Political, Economic Imperialists for the 25th Century. This was a book that our beloved sisters, Alima Njai, which is Brother Ben's wife, and Dr. Oyama Art. They had a book club that they had been doing for, man, I don't know how many months, but it was a lot of months. They went through each chapter in this book, which is a great book. I own this text, so this is a great book to have by him. African Centered Consciousness versus the New World Order, Garveyism in the Age of Globalism, which Garvey, I see why he have a book. I don't have this publication, but Garvey inspired Brother Amos Wilson. The Falsification of African Consciousness, the Eurocentrics, History, Psychiatry, if I'm saying that right, and Politics of White Supremacy, which another book I own, which is a great textbook if you want to get the publication. It's not a big read, a small read, something you can read. What you can read in a few hours, really. Aware Nature, Generous Children, Amos Wilson. I don't own that. Black Violence, not gonna go there, but if you want to get that, the Development of Psychology, Black Children, the Understanding of Black Adolescents, Male Violence, the Remedy and Prevention. I imagine all these are great books by Brother Amos. I only have 2 of the publications that are up here. I done looked at plenty of his videos, so check out Brother Amos Wilson. Before I get started, I got a few brothers on the panel. It's going to be like a brief presentation slash discussion with a few of my good brothers that's going to be on the panel. So before I get started, open up the panel. Whoever want to say something and speak before we get started, I'm allowing you to speak.
Just want to say peace to everybody tuned in. Peace to all the brothers on the panel. And it's always an honor and a privilege to be amongst people with like minds. And I'm just looking forward to another lesson.
Peace. It's Brother Setep. Want to say Madupe, Fatmu Lafayette. Did I do good that time?
You doing good. I'm sorry for laughing. You doing good. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Start over.
I can't do it again. But yeah, y'all. I want to say peace to the chat, peace to everybody watching, peace to the brothers on the panel. Got a lot of respect for everybody on the panel. Thank Kofi for having everybody on the panel and doing this show. And I hope y'all appreciate it. Hotep.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. Peace to everybody in the audience. Peace to Kofi, all the brothers on the panel. I'm gonna go back to mute. I'm looking for a book at the moment that I might use along the way. I look forward to the show and thankful for being here.
Asar and I know Sean had to step away. Sean he got his own. He mute now, but he said he gonna jump in a minute. Asar ain't got in here yet. Asar Em Ka ain't got in here yet.
Nah, he ain't in here yet.
Okay, because I know he just getting off work. But you sent him the link.
Yeah, it's in his Facebook Messenger.
That's what I sent it to. He talking about sending it to the Google Hangout. You know what he talking about?
Nah, but I can send it to. He probably talking about one of our previous hangouts.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, do that. Send a link to a previous hangout. Okay, I'm finna get started. I was trying to share real quick. All right, let's go back because I got my slides all out of order, y'all. Okay. The name of this presentation slash discussion is good character, moral ethics, moral values. And people know me that watch watch the shows, whether I'm on the Mossy Warrior Clan or whether I'm on my platform or whether I'm on the SESU channel. Um, I always try to exhibit good character. You always hear me tell y'all to do the same in the chat. Fatmu Lafayette, which means bring forth peace. Fatmu Iwa Pele, which means bring forth good character. So we always try to demonstrate good character. So if you look at the Mossy channel or you look at the Seshu or even you look at on this platform, you have no one is all out of character or practicing bad character. So this discussion slash presentation is needed, even with some of the stuff that's going on right now. Some misunderstandings is really all it is going on Facebook right now. But a lot of people I'm seeing are kind of demonstrating a little bad character, and we're gonna get into what bad character is and what some of the groups think what is I mean what we'll see what the Yoruba people, we'll see what the Ewe people, the Igbo people, we'll see what the Akan people say about good character and what they say about bad character. And then we're gonna go into some stuff in the book of Ma'at and have a discussion about some of those things. And some of the slides that I may show real quick. We're not gonna hold you too long um, on this discussion slash presentation. All right, I always have to put a disclaimer out there before I get started. My disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information. And that information provided is for the educational purpose only. And if you are in doubt, do the research or have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of the presentation, to shut down, sell, or exchange the terms are used at my own discretion. Trademark, design rights, copyrights, residence names, models, logos, avatars, the signal marks used or cited by these websites are the property of their respective owners. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available, add or adapt changes, approve information as it comes available in the future. Inputs wanted, changes, additions, deletions are encouraged. One of y'all, when brother Asar M Ka get on the panel, let me know, man. So if he want to speak, man, I'll let him speak. I'll stop and let him speak if he got something to say real quick. This is my saying. Everybody that follow me knows this is my saying. As I learn, uh, we all learn. I think that this is one of the tools, a great tool that we can use as we learn things. We should share those things with the family. I feel like this is a tool that we all can be able to grow if we pass down information. And I mean, we pass down the correct information by doing the correct methodology. All right. Iwa Riri Loso Iyan. It means it is good character that guides one life. So remember that. Iwa Riri Loso Iyan. It is good character that guides one in life. I'm gonna give a few definitions out here with good character. Ked Nefer. Ked Nefer means good character in Kemet. Agua Omo is good character in the Igbo language. Sube or Sube Pa and Akan, and I got a question mark. I'm not sure if I got that right, but I think that is right. That's how you say good character in the Akan language. Suban or Sumban Pa, which is good character. Lo lo Lokilingi, good character. That's in the Loso in the southern Zimbabwe language. Iwa which you hear me talk about a lot, which means good character in Yoruba. Iwa also means, well, I'll go back to that in a minute. Okay, Iwa Barugu. You hear me throw this term out a lot. Playing with Sean, we go back and forth with this term Iwa Barugu. Iwa Barugu is bad character, and I see a lot of Iwa Barugu going on in this so-called conscious community. And we got to do better. So that's what bad character mean in the Yoruba language. Isfat. Isfat means wrong, wrongdoing, falsehood, crimes, and chaos. This is in Kemet. And I see a lot of chaos and confusion going on, and people keeping up a lot of chaos, and people up keeping up confusion. And I'm gonna get into a lot of why people are keeping up chaos, keeping up confusion, and people are practicing Iwa Baruru and not practicing Iwa Pele or Zuban Pa or Agua Omo or Ked Nefer or Loking Lingi. Um, and we're gonna get into why we see that, but I can't respect a lot of individuals that say they ride with Africa, and then you don't understand the African culture and the traditions when the traditions is engulfed in cultivating character or making, I mean, bringing forth good character, becoming the highest humanitarian as possible. Iwa also means custom, the tradition, a way of life. So good character and a lot of the African traditions is the way of life. So I'm going to talk about a few other cultures that deal with good character and what it means to deal with good character. Because I know when we throw the term African, Africa out there, Africa has so many countries in it, and there's so many different ethnic groups that has their own traditions and cultures. So we're just going to talk about some of those other cultures that actually practice good character, and the cultures that I have studied, which has been many, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in East Africa, um, North Africa, and Central Africa. A lot of the customs and tradition is engulfed in character building. So again, EY, which is character, or EY Pele, also means custom, the tradition and the way of life. Customs. The tradition is widely accepted by and behaved on doing something that is specific to a particular society, place, or time. Morality, principles concerned that distincts between right and wrong and good and bad behavior. Generosity is the quality that is a lot like unselfishness. Someone showing generosity is happy to give time, money, food, kindness, people. Indeed, generosity is a quality like honesty and patience that we'll all probably wish we had more of. So when you talk about morality, you are
talking here, Kofi.
Okay, go ahead, brother Sa. I mean, brother Asar Em Ka. I want to, I let everybody speak before, I went in. So when you got on, I wanted you to speak if you had something to say.
You're doing well. I'm not sure what everybody said.
You're breaking up on us, Asar Em Ka. Asar Em Ka.
Yeah, I was saying, go ahead, family. I just hopped in here from work. I'm driving, but you're doing a good job already. I'm not even sure what was said in the beginning. Who ads yet? So I'm just listening, soaking it up. You telling them right, because a lot of people in our community need that good character, and it's not showing. It's more of a challenge community. But yeah, keep going, family. I'm all ears right now.
All right. So when you talk about morality or morals, when you talk about ethics, which we're going to get into, when you talk about generosity, when you talk about kindness, when you talk about compassion, when you talk about empathy, you are talking about good character. All of those terms go hand in hand when you talk about good character. Ethics. The term ethics is a technical use for philosophies that to mean the philosophical study of morality. Morality, understood as a set of social rules, principle, norms that guides or intends to guide the conduct, of the people in the society. Even though morality is the subject matter of ethics, it is most often used interchangeable with ethics. In spite of the philosophical inquirers and analysts undertakings by individuals, morals, philosophers regarding morality, i.e., morality of a society, of a people, which often results in diverse positions of conclusions. Nevertheless, the basic features, the core element of morality of a society, those moral principles and values that actually guides and influence the life of a people. All right, I threw this slide in real quick and we're going to go back into it. I did a presentation called Iwa Pele and Ore Tutu on this channel, which is a great presentation. Go back and look at the presentation. I had even a Baba Luau look at the presentation and even validate a lot of things that I was saying about good character, or what I was saying about Iwa Pele, which is specifically was dealing with the Yoruba people and what they consider good character is and so forth. So I threw this slide in at the last minute because certain things that has been going on Facebook, it's just been a bunch of confusion, people not understanding things, people speaking on things and hadn't even studied the issues, but just speaking on things. And you know, I'm not going to speak on something that I don't know nothing about. Even if someone says something, I still have to go back and verify, and that's the problem. We become where we have again been indoctrinated. Well, we coming out of this indoctrinated, like a lot of us come from the Christian churches. So a lot of us follow behind another man and believe everything another person is saying without going to do the research. So we utter, and this is what's happening in the community. I'm not saying no one's right, no one's wrong, but I see a lot of people, and it's been going on since I've been in the so-called conscious community. People practicing bad character, people worshiping other people's personalities and not going to verify what individuals are saying, putting, you know, just things. So I got a little upset. Normally I mind my own business. When I see things, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook. I mind my own business. I don't say nothing. You know, I scroll right on past it because people have the right to say what they want to say, do, even if it's outlandish, if it's crazy, or whatever the case may be. I go stroll right past it. But I kind of got upset today and kind of got in my feelings about a few things today. So I had to come back and add this slide, which it brings me back to my presentation, or Iwa Pele, which is good character, and Ore Tutu, which means cool-headedness. So again, we have to understand when we are faced with certain things that may upset us, we should practice, still continue to practice Iwa Pele by having a cool head, which is called Ore Tutu. So in this book, Flash of the Spirit, it states on page 12 and 13, we must take care of stretched character and coolness as a separate semantic because they shades into others also blurred an extensive definition of Ashe. The interrelations of the concept is explicit, giving the vernacular testimony for the capable of the agun. Coolness or gentleness of character is important in our lives. Coolness is the correct way to represent yourself as a human being. And we're going to get into a person and a human being in a minute. We saw you. I opened my cap. It is Itutu. Answer the past. Itutu. Made to me. The phrase is significant, opening the cap instead of doffing and removing its western polish, and a sign of generosity. And again, generosity goes hand in hand with Iwa Pele, which is good character, in response of coolness in the life of art. Generosity, the highest form of morality. In Yoruba tradition, terms suggest yet another way by the symbolizing offering of something by a person of higher force through the act of kneeling. The importance of good character, which virtually synonymous with coolness, is generosity of character of Iwa Pele, potentially by the Yoruba. So again, we have to continue to not let things take us out of character. We should continue to try to cultivate good character, no matter what type of adversity that we're facing, no matter what people may say or do. We should always continue to practice ore tutu, which is cool-headedness, which cool-headedness or ore tutu is synonymous with iwa pele, which is good character. African words of ethics of or morality. When a speaker of an Akan language wants to say he has no morals or he has immorals or he is unethical, his conduct is unethical, he would almost invariably say he has no character, only suban. The statement he has no morals or he has unethic is expressed by the speaker of the U language as no more mile co, which means he has no character. In Yoruba language, it is thought that the word iwa means both character and morality, because again, character or good character goes hand in hand with morals or morality. In the Igbo language, the Eastern Nigeria, the word agua, meaning character, is used in a such as a statement as he has no morals. Onwe giye ise agua. In Shoni, the language spoken by the substantial majority of the people of the Zimbabwe, the word Tisike means ethics or morality. But when they want to say a person that he has no morals, he is unethical, they would often use the word hahu, which directly means character. Thus, hani, hanhu means he has no character. He has no morals. He has no ethics. In South Solote, a language spoken widely in Lesotho or southern Zimbabwe, there is no word that are direct equivalent of ethics or morality. Reference to the morals and ethic likes or behaviors are made using words that means behavior or character. Thus, moral statements such as he has no morals or his actions is unethical will be expressed by words such as as mahmo, which means character or behavior. Thus, mahmo a mabi means he has a bad character. His behavior, actions is unethical. When a person behaves or acts in ways that are morally right, they would say he has good character, using the word lo kilinge, koling, or ba by iso ware, both in which means good character and bad character. Thus, the inquiry into moral language of several African people cultures indicate that these languages, the word expresses the means character. It is used to refer to what others call ethics or morality. Discourse of statements about morality turns to be discourse of the statements essentially about character. All right, moral persons. So I gave the definitions of certain definitions dealing with certain people, dealing with the people in Zimbabwe, people, the Akan people, the Lesotho people, the Igbo people, the Nigerian people, and mean what good character, what the good character is, the definitions of ethics, morals, definitions of generosity, kindness. I didn't give empathy and compassion, which goes hand in hand with morality. Which goes hand in hand with good character. Respect goes hand in hand with good character. All right, moral personhood. Let's talk about moral personhood. Let me start by analysis of a moral personhood in Africa, moral philosophies with a statement made by Ifeanyi Mikente, an African philosophy from Nigeria. So let's hear what he has to say. The various societies found in traditional African routinely accept this fact that personhood is the sort of things which has to be obtained, and it is attained in direct proposition as one participating in communal life through the discharge of the various obligations defined by one's station. It is the carrying out of these obligations that transforms one from its status of early childhood marked by an absence of moral functions. I'm going to say that again. Defines one station. It is the carrying out of this obligation that transforms one from its status of early childhood marked by an absence of moral functions into person status of later years marked by winding maturity of ethnical sense and ethnical maturity without which personhood is conceived as eluding one. McKente's statements adherents of the conceptions of moral personhood, which will now be discussed in some details. The concept of a person in Africa thought embodies ethnical prepositions. The word for person in the Akan language, undoubtedly the most widely spoken language in Ghana, is Onupe. But the word Onupe also means human being, and the plural form of it means people. Thus, the word Enupe is an ambiguous word. In the Akan society, when an individual conducts very often appears cruel, wicked, selfish, ingenuous, or unsympathetic, it would be said that the individual that he is not a person. Oniye Onupe, if I'm pronouncing that right. So when you're dealing with the Akan people, and when you're dealing with, I think, the people in Nigeria, human beings, everybody is acknowledged as a human being, but some people is not acknowledged as a person, because they saying that you have to possess a moral function or moral status. You have to have or develop good character. So it says you are in its status until you its status, which you have absence of moral because you are adolescent or you are in childhood. So once you become an adult and you become mature, then you should be cultivating your character. You should have some type of moral values, some type of moral sense, some type of building good character. In the Yoruba language, the word iya means a person. Even though the word is used in the normative as well as non-normative or ordinary sense, greater emphasis is placed on the normative dimension of iyan. And I may be pronouncing the word wrong. It can be said in some individuals that he or she is not a person. Kisi yinye, such as a comment in the judgment of moral standards of humans beings, who is thus determined to fall short, that is taking to be recognized as such. So in the Akan society and in the Yoruba society, you wouldn't even be recognized as a person. You would be recognized as a human being, but you wouldn't be recognized as a person in society, because you do not have any type of moral values, moral ethics. You are not cultivating your character or building good character, which comes with a lot of traits, which is compassion, which is empathy, which is respect, which is generosity, which is morals, and etc. The Akan statement, Anonyi Anupe, and the Yoruba statement, Kiyi Si Iyanye, both underlines the conceptions of moral personhood. The two statements are significant in two ways. The first is that even though the individual is said not to be a person, he is nonetheless acknowledged as a human being, not as a beast or a fish. It is pretty clear that the statement implies a distinguish between the concept of human beings and the concept of a person. An individual can be a human being without being a person. So again, a lot of people in our communities, or if they was in these particular Pacific societies, as the Akan, which is in Ghana, or the Yoruba people, which is in Nigeria, you know what I'm saying, or even the I'm not the Igbo people. I'm not sure with the Igbo people, but with these two societies, You will be recognized as a human being, but you wouldn't even be recognized as a person if you practicing bad character. So, so I was just trying to relate those things to certain cultures, and and see what some of these cultures entail dealing with bad culture and dealing with good culture. Now, practicing my art. Now we're going to get into some of the things that's dealing with which is finna start being a discussion. We're gonna get in some of the things that's dealing with the book of Ma'at, the Ma'at book, the book by United Kemet Press. Um, so brothers, I want y'all to help out in this discussion here. But before we had the discussion, I wanted to go through some terms, some definitions, and then some things dealing with some of the ethnic groups in Africa, what they specifically say good character is, what they say bad character is, who they recognize as how they recognize a person with bad character, how they recognize a person with good character, how they view you. So now I want to go into the discussion, which is going to be a couple of slides dealing with the Ma'at book. I know a lot of people don't have the Ma'at book, so I typed up a few things dealing with the slides, so we wouldn't be reading just from the book. Everybody can see where we're reading from, and we can actually discuss some of these things that's dealing with the topic at hand. First, practicing Ma'at. Practicing Ma'at. Everybody know Ma'at is justice, homage, reciprocity, order, balance, truthfulness, which means that which is straight. In all situations, you will begin to do good in all things. Not practicing Ma'at does not make a person bad. However, it does help a person to be his or her best. And when a person consistently practices Ma'at, then she or he also sometimes practices it opposite. And I see that a lot. When you align your intentions and actions to guide principles of Ma'at, you will feel strong, purposely, and sure. No matter where you find yourself carrying yourself according to Ma'at, attach yourself to what is just and right, regardless of what people think or do. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to read that whole 3. When you are aligning your attentions and actions to guide principles of Ma'at, you will feel strong, purposeful, and sure, no matter where you find yourself carrying yourself according to Ma'at. Attach yourself with what is just and right, regardless of what other people think or do. Hold to your true aspirations. Aspirations, no around. Hold on. And I might have made a typo. Yeah, let me pull the book out. I don't even know what page this was on. Give me a second. That was a typo. I don't know what that was saying right there. Page 200. Oh, it just saying hold on, I might have missed hold to your aspirations no matter what is going. It's supposed to be hold to your true aspirations no matter what is going on around you. So I left out no matter what is going on around you. Now, brothers, each slide that I present, we just gonna discuss these things about these different slides. And here, we know basically Ma'at means that which is straight, which we talk about truthfulness, justice, harmony, reciprocity, order, and balance, which means good in all things. What do this this slide here mean? Or can y'all go into let's just have a discussion on the slide. What do y'all get out of this slide here?
A couple things come from this slide. I mean, when you talk Ma'at, I wrote a book, The Virtues of Ma'at. So when you talk Ma'at, you're talking about the nature in which humans are created in which the universe was established in. So for us, holds more dear to, a non-practitioner. But also to build off of another topic you were talking about before, for those who don't have ma'at and have bad character in ancient Remech culture, if you were really bad, there was no grave for you. They would not build a grave for you. So, which means that a hyena or a lion would get a hold of your corpse. You would not get buried with the proper rites, which was also a fear of being buried in another nation. So which is why a lot of the Remech army, when they went to establish Ma'at for the king, they wouldn't stay in that country. They would become vassal kings and still keep their culture about themselves. So they wouldn't be dictated to by the Remech society. You can live in harmony with us, but we need this acacia from you. Make sure you send plenty of it, right? So we stayed in Ma'at, and when you weren't of Ma'at, there was no tomb for you, which is in one of the sayings. And we keep a righteous state because the universe was created in this fashion. It was created on this principle.
You just told me something I didn't know. I didn't know uh the thing about you did not be you wasn't buried if you practice. Wow. You just told me something. Anybody else want to build on the slide before I move to the next slide?
Yeah, I just want to say real quick. You taught me something too, brother. Asar Em Ka. You know how success in corporate America is associated with, people in power being cutthroat, and we experience this a lot, where managers are notorious in all companies for just being very inhumane in how they treat their workers. Um, I witnessed something very unfortunate earlier this year, and that's what made me quit the job that I had 6 months ago. And it was how the company treated the situation. I think what's important to grasp from here is that in African traditions, being successful is, or excuse me, let me back up. Having good character, iwa pele, right, is a prerequisite of success. We understand that today, a lot of people with iwa baruru, they are successful. They are the
Oh, woo.
CEOs.
Say that again, brother. Say that again. They say that again, man. Wow, that's powerful to me. It may not be powerful to nobody what you just said, but that's powerful to me what you just said. That statement.
In today's time, Western society, America, and globally, we understand that CEOs of companies and many managers and higher ups, the richest of the rich, practice Iwa Baruru, and they are the most successful according to this whole paradigm that we under in terms of finance. That's what anybody really relates to when they say that. You talk about success in this country, what we talking about? How much bread is in our pocket? And we know that. That's a social thing. But when it comes to what we're looking at right here, and brother Asar Em Ka, I definitely got to get a copy of your works. Um, you know, in African traditions, having good character is a prerequisite of success. That is how we really realized our greatness, really brought it into reality, to truly, in the essence of the word, realize our greatness, is by having good character. The brothers on this panel coming together because we like take a little bit of here, a little bit of here, a little bit of here, put it all together. We all still try and demonstrate good character. I don't want to hog the mic. You can keep going, brother.
And you mentioned people that practice Iwa Baruru, people that mention people that practice Isfet. Those even like when you look into like this conscious community, most of the platforms do not practice any form of good character. And what I mean by that is if you look at You go look at the followers. If you go look at the followers, that the people that are doing confusion, that has a bunch of confusion, a bunch of chaos, a lot of ad hominems, a lot of fu, a lot of I'll dig up your mama and I'll re-kill her. I'll eat your son. I mean, just all this craziness, foolishness, this entertainment stuff. These people are successful. These people are practicing bad character. And these same people that are practicing bad character, um, they are successful. When I mean successful, they got 2,000-3,000 views on their pages. They are monetizing their pages and making money by continuously putting foolishness up on the page. But then they say they for Africa. But then if you for Africa, then you will understand that when you talk about African cultures and traditions, it is rooted in good character. You want to become an Olo Lawape, which means a person of good character. That's what we're striving to be, or Olo Lawape. So these individuals compromise themselves. Okay, bad character, foolishness, it sells. It what gets me by. Even though I can down talk my own people, even though I can lie to my own people, even though I can cheat my own people out of certain things, you know what I'm saying? No, I mean they successful. You know what I'm saying? They practicing bad behavior. So like I'm saying, even in the conscious community, uh uh they successful. And if you go and look at certain groups, if you look at the Amun Ra Squad, if you look at hold on, yeah, let me see, I'm trying to get Ben to come in here. Hold on. But yeah, if you look at the Amun Ra Squad, you look at the Masu Warrior Clan, you look at the Seshu, um a lot of these groups, man, they ain't got all these, they ain't got 10K followers. They ain't got 30K followers. We're not making money monetizing, because again, we consider boring, and then we're not entertaining, and we're not with the foolishness, so we are unsuccessful. And I blame a lot of us, because we don't understand our own culture, we don't understand our own traditions, and we continuously practicing these bad behaviors. Long as we able to benefit, we ain't worried about nobody else. Long as we able to benefit, hold on, y'all, benefit off of that. Let me go to the next slide. I'm gonna start with the next slide. Hold on, I'm trying to get Brother Ben in here. Yep. All right, maybe Brother Ben to jump in here. I'll just text him. All right. Well, sure, but let me go back. Anybody else add something, man, before we go any further with just this slide? With this slide, we're practicing my art.
Yeah, man, y'all summed it up, man. Everybody did good.
All right.
Summed it up pretty good.
All right, building character, which is what our traditions is about building your character. Even when you study the culture and the traditions, and you deal with a lot of the mythological stories, or the cosmologies, or the creation stories. Even if we go back to the Yoruba culture, when we deal with Odemare or Oleron, which is two in the same, they call Odemare Ole Iwa, which means Lord of character, or Lord of good character. It is said that Ole Demare, Ole Deron Odemare birthed Iwa, or birth Iwa Pele, which is good character, which is building character. It is rooted in the traditions of building good character, having moral values and moral ethics, treating or becoming the highest humanitarian as possible. Building character. Character matters more than reputation. And you know, heard this before. I'm gonna go back into it because brother T'Challa, who's on the platform, had this same slide up, and when I was typing it up last night, I was like, wait a minute, what did I, we read the same information. So I went back and looked at the slide, and he had the same thing. And I'm gonna let him jump into this, first because he explained it quite well. And anybody else want to build on it, but building character. Character matters more than reputation. I'm gonna say that again because it may go over people's heads. Character matters more than reputation. Character reflects who you are on the inside. Reputation is tied to what others think about you. Reputation develops from character. It is more important to be honest, direct, just, and fair than to be concerned about how other people perceive you. And I also see this too. People is more wrapped up in their reputation. I say this all the time. I don't care what nobody think about Kofi Piesie. I don't do this for people to be talking about me, my name ringing out there, to have this good reputation, blase, to be famous on the social media network or in the so-called conscious community. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? What matters to me is exhibiting good character. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Being an upright and just person. That what matters to me. Respecting each other. That what matters to me. Acknowledging other people's existence and their being. That's what matters to me. Reputation doesn't matter. That's why you have so much flooded of our people on Facebook bashing each other because they want people to look at them in a certain way. They more about the reputation. They don't care about what they're doing to other people, how they're bashing other people, what they're doing, causing confusion, chaos. What if it's about their reputation, how people perceive them. You know what I'm saying? No matter who they hurt, it's about what people think about them. It is more important to be honest, direct, just, and fair than to be concerned about how people perceive you. Bruh, Jehudi, T'Challa, please go in. I want you to talk about that because I liked how eloquently you summed it up when we talked about this on another show, which you needed. Also, we talked about the same thing, character, and we're gonna continue to talk about good character until we beat it in our people. We're gonna continue to exhibit good character. You know what I'm saying? Until we exhibit it. We not gonna sell out and start bashing people so we can get views. We not gonna sell out so we can start hit that button and to monetize our page so we can start getting paid to start practicing bad character. You know what I'm saying? Disrespecting our people, doing all types of things in order for us to benefit off of. But go ahead, brother T'Challa.
I like to think of it like this, and it's real simple. Every person we have ever known and ever will know, everything that we've learned and ever will learn, every animal, every tree, every job, everything that you know, the earth itself, we all inhabit in this one rock, orbiting one star, traveling through one galaxy. It's not like when you have a problem with somebody and you have a run in on the street or you get in a fight with your best friend that you can say, okay, see you later, I'm going to planet Jupiter. Or see you later, I'm going to another galaxy. I don't want to see you no more. Get lost. We say these things to each other and we say more hurtful things than that, but they can't go no further away from you than what they are right now. So if we all are part of the all, nothing is outside of what we call existence. As Brother Ankh, I've heard him say on videos dealing with religion and in terms of believing in so-called supernatural things. What is supernatural? And that is what we seem to act like when we exhibit Iwa Baruru, is we think that we some type of real live God or something, like we can, manipulate energy to the point where we can really we want to exhibit harm on one another because we got into it. And we doing this every day because I live in Chicago and you know violence is everywhere in everybody's city. But in terms of what's really being on the news and it's nothing new. But you know what I'm saying? This city, yeah, it's very dangerous. But you know what? I've lived here my whole life pretty much. Lived 3 years in Cali, but I've lived here my whole life. And I have to say, walking the streets, being in the world, in Chicago, exhibiting Iwa Pele gets me far in places where Iwa Baruru is the deity of that place, if you get my drift. I'm so serious. You got babies out here packing. It's nothing, it's no secret. You know what I'm saying? With something as big as your arm. And let you exhibit Iwa Baruru on one of the babies and see what happens. You know, it's kind of one of those things where we got to remember that none of us is more significant than the other. All life depends on another life. So even if you are a vegetarian, vegan, or whatever, you consume a life in order to sustain yours. And then that's why there's whole divinations, libations, there's asking the forgiveness for what you're gonna do. There's asking the ancestors in the first place for permission for doing certain things so that you can sustain your livelihood. But we don't seem to exhibit that in modern times, especially in this country. And as black people, we seem to turn up and want to flex all the time. Man, it's okay to be cool. The lion does not have to roar, nor does he have to show his teeth. And that's all I have to say on that.
Y'all let me know when Brother Ben get in here. Brother Ben gonna jump in and hang out when he get to the office, when he get to his office. So I can allow him to speak. Um Also, well, anybody else got anything on this slide here, building character?
Yeah, I wanna read something out of this 48 Laws of Power, and it's got to deal with reputation. When you said something about reputation, kind of struck a chord in me. So let's see, we got law number 5 in the 48 Laws of Power. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. That's law number 5. I'm gonna go to page 42 and read about reputation. Reputation is a treasure. Hold on, let me turn this TV down. Watch it again. But all right. Reputation is a treasure to be carefully collected and hoarded, especially when you are first establishing it. You must protect it strictly, anticipating all attacks on it. Once it is solid, do not let yourself get angry or defensive at at the slanderous comments of your enemies. That reveals insecurity, non-confidence in your reputation. Take the high road instead, and never appear desperate in your self-defense. So that right there, that's a powerful statement. Speaking on reputation, it kind of deals with your character as well. So I just wanted to highlight that.
What you say? What number that is?
That's law number 5 in the 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
And then it's page 42. So that when you was just speaking on reputation, I like to quote this book a lot because I done read it so many times. But it's a lot of powerful stuff in this book. And then, like I said, when we was talking the other day, certain things you say you can correlate back to this. You know what I'm saying? Back to this book. And we was speaking on something else, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was talking about something else. But like you said, when you talk about reputation, guard it with your life. And then, like I said, reputation is a treasure to carefully be hoarded. So, you got to have good reputation. With good reputation, like you say, good character comes after that.
Right. Anybody else before I move to the next slide?
Absolutely. I think the two brothers just touched on something that's really the most important, and that you don't see it all. The brother talk about his travels. You know what Chicago is looking like right now. My partner and I used to go back there when Cabrini Green was still standing, because we had to get my partner from up out of there. My partner Dallas Stokes, and I when you get in the trenches, like if when I go visit my family in North Camden, or when I'm in Harlem in New York on my old block, or even in Colorado, while we got this marijuana boom right now, when we got all these weirdos coming out here and our murder rate is climbing again and all that stuff like that. This is the stuff that you need to take into remission and really start to use your cognitive powers concerning, because the babies look to the bad because the bad seems to be the one shining. So the brother Polite at one time went ahead and he pulled out a Benz. He pulled out a Benz on purpose because he said to be conscious and to be flashy will make you want to be conscious. And it's true. You start getting attracted to it, which is why some of us gravitate to those types of people. And it's not necessarily that you need to be flashy, but you need to go talk to these youth out here on the streets. I do it on a regular basis. And if you're not talking to the youth, you're not really making a difference, because you're not going to move an old head who's already set in their ways. So when we go to and the ancients tell you all the time, Ptahhotep, you quoted number 5, so I'll quote number 5 from Ptahhotep. It says, if you are a man who leads, charged to direct the affairs of a great number, seek out every well-adjusted deed. So the deeds that you do should be well-adjusted. It says, so that your conduct may be blameless, because everybody is quick to blame somebody for something. It says, great is ma'at, lasting in effect, undisturbed since the time of Asar. One punishes the transgressor of laws, though the heart that robs overlooks this. Baseness may seize riches, yet crime never lands its wares. He says, I acquire from myself. He does not say, I acquire from my function. In the end, it is ma'at that lasts. So you see, Kofi just touched on this earlier. Everybody is for self. You're not for your function. You're not real leaders of men unless you start talking to these babies, nourishing them accordingly, not to what you want, not to your twisted thought, but according to ma'at, according to the measure, according to the law of respect in African spirituality.
All right. Now, and I had meant to put some stuff in there from the Patah Hotel. Yeah. What's that? Patah Hotel. Shoot, I don't even feel like getting up and getting the book. I might jump up and get the book in a minute.
You call the number out, I'll grab the book and I'll call it out.
All right. All right. Anybody else? Sean, I see you got your arm up. You back in the building yet, man?
Yeah, I'm switching to my laptop.
Okay. Well, I'll let you build with us in a minute. Then when you get
All
back
right.
in, let me know too when Ben get his butt in here. All right. Living with dignity, honor, and self-respect. 1. Above all life with dignity. With all life with dignity, honor, and self-respect. Living with dignity means that you act and speak in a way that is worthy of respect. Man, living with dignity means that you act and speak in a way that is worthy and of respect. You command respect by how you carry yourself. And it's a lot of individuals in this community. I honestly, I just don't respect on how they carry themselves and the way they act. To have honor means that when people hear your name, they think good things about you because you set high standards. Do and not compromise your morals. And that's just going back to something I was saying. We compromise ourselves, and T'Challa was saying the same thing when he was referencing to the Western society, and me talking about in this conscious community how we like to have high views where we able to monetize our channels, where they're able to get money. So a lot of individuals are compromise who they are compromise their morals for money. So we'll bash each other so that we able to benefit for it, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to sustain. I'm able to make some more income. Come on, this can be my main income. So I have to put content out there, but the only way I'm able to make money is I have to compromise who I am or compromise my moral ethics and my moral values, because we all know right from wrong. We all know right from wrong. We know when we do something. We know when we wrong. We know when we do something wrong. It's innate in us when we know we do something wrong. We get that feeling, damn, man, I shouldn't have did that. So, but we know when we doing things wrong, but we do it because we want to, you know what I'm saying, for popularity. Some people do it for popularity. You know what I'm saying? I want to be popular in this community. So in order for me to be popular, I have to bash individuals. I have to call individuals out. I have to stroke my ego to make another person look small and myself look big. You know what I'm saying? So people, my name can ring out and pop. And it's sad that we fall in the trap for all this chaos and confusion. We love chaos and confusion. So, and even with the monetary thing, you know what I'm saying, whether we'll go out and we work in the work field, we'll compromise our morals for these companies. Okay, they want me to lie to the people that I'm over. So, but they're gonna pay me this amount of money. So I go out here and lie to the people. They want me to make people work harder, so I'll go out here and make the yoke harder on my people because they paying me a certain amount of money. Even though I know it's wrong, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So we compromise our morals every day. Like I said, even in this conscious community, we compromise our morals every day. Those who do not respect themselves fail to take proper care of themselves and open the door for others to mistreat them. Those who do not respect themselves fail to take proper care of themselves and open the doors for others to mistreat them. In addition, they are more likely to retreat others by talking behind their backs, gossiping, bullying, and doing other harmful things. Shoot, just log into Facebook right now. You see it. You see it. I see it every day. I've been on Facebook probably since 2011 or 12, one of those things, and I see it every day. No matter where you are, carry yourself with dignity. The behavior of many people are dictated by what is going on around them. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Avoid situations and places where wasting time is the norm. Don't be afraid of, to know that they are doing wrong or not doing right. Feel compelled to defend or explain themselves to others. Let quality of your deeds speak on your behalf. You can't control the impressions others forms about you. And when you spend time trying to do so, you debase your character. And this here kind of go with me. I don't. It says, let me go back. I'm gonna read that. No matter what you are, carry yourself with dignity. While the behavior of many people is dictated by what is going on around them, hold yourself to a high standard. And I try to do that, just speaking for myself, I try to do that on a day-to-day basis. That's why I like to work for myself instead of work for people. Because I'm around, when you go around people, you pick up bad habits. Sometimes you pick up bad habits from other people. You know what I'm saying? So you try to control, if you're around those, try not to let those surroundings dictate, you know what I'm saying, your standards. Always, that's what I try to do. Always says avoid situations and places where wasted time. And I do that as well. I don't particularly have friends, and I avoid those types of people because of the situations. People, doesn't I guess people are not on the same thing that I'm on. People are doing things that I'm not going to condone. I'm not going to sit around people that disrespecting the mothers of their children. You paying child support, but you calling the mother that raising your kid a bitch because she upped your child support because she had to go to them folks. I'm not going to sit around it. I'm not going to sit around women that's married trying to go sleep. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to waste my time being around that type of foolishness. And if I'm around it, I'm going to call it out. Don't be afraid to know that they are doing wrong or doing right. Feel compelled to defend or explain themselves to others. Let the quality of your deeds speak on your behalf. You can't control the impressions of other forms about you. And when you spend time trying to do so, you only disbase your character. Anybody want to go in on that slide?
I'm gonna say real quick, just so you know where to find this at, because it fits.
My
If
bad.
you
Go ahead.
want conduct to be perfect, deliver yourself from every evil and combat against greed of the heart. It is a grievous sickness without cure, impossible to penetrate. It causes disaster among fathers and mothers, among the brothers of the mother, and parts wife from husband. It is an amalgam of all evils, a bundle of all hateful things. The man that endures, who correctly applies ma'at and walks according to his stride, he will make a will by it. The greedy of heart has no tomb.
What you reading from right there, brother Asar?
Patahata, Maxim 19.
You gonna make me get my book off the shelf.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and get mine too, man.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, it's got some good info in it. Let me get mine.
Hey, I wanted to say something. Oh, brother, were you finished, brother Asar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, I gotta get the book. I ain't gonna sit up here in front and say, let me get mine. Yeah, I wish I could say that. But I want to say what I do throughout the city of Chicago is I teach West African drums, the djembe orchestra, to youth, adults from the north side to the south side, west side, wherever. I have been performing and teaching for over 12 years. Um, the last few years, I've slowed up so much working with corporate America, but this year I'm stepping into entrepreneurship fully. And I'm out here daily. Oh, and I also started driving for Uber. So between the two, I'm interacting with people all day long, talking to people all day long. And I'm encountering all personalities because I'm Ubering all over the city. I perform and teach all over the city. So you come across people who don't respect you, who don't like you, who have a bias, and they show it, or you can pick up on the energy because you just know when somebody's uncomfortable because you shining in your natural light, and then you can just feel the funk and the negativity really coming off a person because they start getting a little uncomfortable. They start twitching and moving around, and they real brief with the conversation. They start to say things in an abrasive way, real abrupt and just real short with you, and the whole nine. And what you have to do is, I find for myself being a black man, I'm a threat. I'm intimidating. I am public enemy number one. So all eyes are on me to do something wrong in the first place. No matter what's going down, I could be getting a sandwich from the restaurant. Everybody watches when the black man walks in to see if he's which kind of black man they seen on the media that this black man is. Woman as well. I'm not singling out the ladies, of course not. But just from a black male perspective, this is how I encounter the world. And like I said earlier, these babies are looking at me to see what I do. They watch an adult disrespect me in the school by saying, "Oh, whatever your program is, African drum, West African drum, it's the same. It's all the same," and it's really not. But that's so disrespectful to do to somebody. That's like me saying, "Oh, Sesh Meta Necha Sesh." I can mess the name up and I can say, "Oh, whatever. It's all the same." And no, it's not. It's disrespectful. It's a certain name that is called. That's the name of that group. This is the name of this class or whatever. But these babies are looking at how I'm going to react because they understand that Miss Johnson can be a jerk. They told me that. But they looking at what I'm going to do as another adult when an adult wrongs me. They're right there on the spot looking at me. These people watch me every day when I drive and somebody cuts me off. How do I respond? How do I react? Because if you blow up, people aren't going to want to request to be in your ride. You going to say something, Brother Kofi?
Oh, I'm flipping through the book.
Yeah, you writing exact with that, bro.
and I'm the worst when it comes to driving and being calm. So yeah, you you better man than me in that instance for sure. Character is everything, and as the brother mentioned, if the babies are watching and you the one they watching, you the one on the stage, you gotta perform. You gotta perform, and perform don't mean you gotta, you know, act any certain way. You should it should already be embedded in you to be of ma'at, already be embedded in you. Your nature should reflect when you're around children, and you should know how to act. The African in you should come out for real.
Can I chime in for a second about some things I just heard
Right.
about how you said we 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 under attack and we have to be aware of our character and we're seen as threats no matter what we do. I'm gonna share a personal story. Uh, the last day of my son's sixth grade year, the teacher stood before me in the middle of the street and told me, "Hey, we love your son. He's such a beautiful person, and we just want you to know it was never him. It was one of our pairs, one of the assistants in his uh, classroom, because my son is autistic and he's nonverbal. It was her abusing him this entire time that we had to keep calling you to pick him up from school. But don't worry about it. We took care of the problem. The only thing they did was transfer her. But I'm sharing this story on the aspect of this. This was my son. And I have someone tell me out in the open that he's sitting there getting abused. Now, me knowing that I'm outnumbered and I'm by myself and I'm a single parent and how this works, instead of getting in my emotions and responding the way I wanted to, because this is my son we talking about. Of course I was upset. I know personally, because I've been there before, I had to go through this and learn it on my own in my teenage years. They expect us to act that way. They expect us to show that aggression. Here's the thing: I had to be silent, and I had to combat this in a different way. And how we talking about responsibility at the moment? Kofi, I shared something with you on Facebook because I've been trying to be quiet to keep my opinions out. Hopefully, before this presentation is over, maybe you can share your screen and show it. Um, but responsibility. The reason why I didn't act on it in the aspect of letting out anger is because I know if I separate myself or if I put a bullseye on my back, my children have nothing. In this community, my door is open to any child, period. But in particularly any black child in this community. And more often than not, those are the ones that pass through my door. Every single one that I've met so far, I first thing I ask them is, do you read books? No. Well, if you're going to be here, you're going to read books. By the second or the third time of them being here, no, they're not reading books, but every single one I've seen, and this is 10 plus kids. It's not a big community, but 10 plus kids, every single one of them, all of them have been young girls, have come to me in private and said, can I start calling you daddy? Can I start calling you daddy? I don't know nobody like you. Can I call you dad? And my emphasis on this is I'm not rich. I don't give them much. The only thing I do give them is time and confidence. And when they're around me, I say, no, you can't watch twerking. No, you can't listen to this kind of music. No, you can't do this. I'm going to chime back out, but it's speaking towards the responsibility. At some point, we do have to realize we are the adults now. And that should show in our behaviors. A lot of this stuff we carry on high school behaviors blindly. And we don't want to address those issues. I'm going to chime back out because I don't want to get long-winded. Plus, I'm watching and learning as we go. But hopefully, Kofi, you can share that little slide because it speaks towards a lot of things I've been quiet but wanting to say in the background as well. I'm going to
Okay.
chime out.
Yeah, I do. But man,
Okay.
anytime you got something to say it. Vyasa. It's
Well, a part of it is I want people to see the picture because I think the visual of it, of what I tried to do, will help go along with it. It's something I read before. It was what I read the first time I was on the panel about. I'll give the meat of the statement. A king is merely the slave of great responsibility. Who handles his
Vasa,
responsibilities
Vasa, go
is
back and
one.
read it again. Vasa, you
Uh,
had bleeped out.
yeah, I'm on my telephone. Somebody was calling. I'm sorry. A king is merely the slave of great responsibilities, but the man who handles his responsibilities is surely labeled a great king. To give an example of this, I call him El Malik Shabazz because that's the name he imposed upon himself. Lastly, but Malcolm X, he didn't have a huge amount of wealth, but his character to this day, you got a huge following of people that refuse to let that man's name die. He's held up. Why? Because of his character, because the responsibility he took upon himself to be a man and be a leader. Now, a lot of people have had wealth, but how many people remember their names? There's over 100 million, 100 millionaires in this country alone. Most of us can't name at least two or three of them. The ones we can identify with is like what's being spoken. The ones with bad character, ego driven, the ones who want to put themselves out as if they have sole control of the planet. I heard, was it, I can't remember if it was T'Challa or Setepenre who brought about is it 48 laws of power?
The tip and raw.
The count, um, one that goes along with it, and this is Eurocentric thinking, and we need to be aware of it because you hear it in hip hop a lot. You'll hear one of the lines from that book in hip hop a lot is Machiavelli's works, not Tupac Machiavelli, but the actual Machiavelli, where he talked about fear is better than respect. And how many have adhered to that idea? But you can't get people to love and respect you if you superimpose fear upon them. They're more likely to resist you at some point. That's where revolts come from. During slavery, they thought putting the fear of God in us was going to make us submit. Now they doing their best to cover up every single revolt that ever took place. They had to cover it up. Why? Because you can't get away with that. You just simply can't. We human beings, even with children. One of the things I see when it comes to children that needs to be addressed is the dehumanization of children. When you sit back and you tell your child, oh, no, you're not going to do that because you're my child, and you take away their natural character, you take away their admirations. How many children sit back and say they want to go to school, they want to do this, they want to be in the NBA, and we say, no, you can't. Not maybe us individually in this group, but I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about. And we put this destructive mindset upon them, which creates this resentment. Like I said, Kofi, it's best if I go back to mute because I'll get to talking and talking and talking, and I don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's why I'm doing my best to stay silent back here. But
But chime in, man. That's what everybody. That's what I got everybody on the panel for. To chime in. It's a discussion.
yeah, okay.
Anybody else?
Hey, brother Sean ain't saying too much.
EY Baruru, you in the building?
ETM Hotel, Brittany Shaw. Appreciate everybody on the panel today. Appreciate everybody in the chat that's listening in. I've been listening. I have been sitting here listening for a minute. There's a few things that I want to add to the bill. First, I want to drop something that I put in my presentation in the reintroduction to my art, that the basis of social order is a value that can neither be bought nor bargained away. The social order secrets benevolence and loving kindness without stifling personal initiative and work. Ir Ka Ek. If you cultivate a farm, Ma'at castigates slander, lying, defamation, boastfulness, and flattery. Now, I said that because I think that that's key in the social order of what Ma'at means. But Asar brought out the maxims of Patah Hotep, which are principles of Ma'at. And the maximums are the upper echelon. I think that the whole panel would agree that there are the upper echelon of what Ma'at is in living proof. So I want to go to 27. It says, teach the great what is useful to them, be an aid to the great before the people. If you let your knowledge impress your leader, your substance from him will then come from his soul. As his favorite's belly is filled, so will your back be cloth, and his help will be there to sustain you. For your leader, whom you love and who lives by useful knowledge, he in turn will give you good support. Thus will the love of you endure in his belly. He is a soul who loves to listen. You went into Ma'at, and we've been talking about character. And in Ma'at, the book, Guiding Principles of Moral Living, on page 224, it says, place character and deeds over relationships. I'm going to tie all of this in. The character and deeds of a person are more important than who she or he is related to.
What page you in? What page you on? And I think that you might be that. What page you on?
I'm on page 24.
Okay. Oh, you on 20? Okay, because I just want to make, because that sound like maybe the next slide, but that's not page 24. But it's gonna be touching on what you're talking about. 224. Hold on. I just want to make sure. And I bet you that's something about
my book, Sean.
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And you want to place character and deeds over relationship? Okay. And we're gonna talk about that. That's good. You touching on that, because we're gonna go ahead, because we're gonna touch on that on I think slide after next. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If we're gonna touch on it, the slide at the next, then that's
Go ahead. No. Go ahead. I mean, just go ahead.
The character and deeds of a person are more important than who she or he is related to or knows. Each person must be judged on her or his own merit. Many organizations and efforts fall apart because undeserving people are given preferential treatment, while hardworking, decent people are taken for granted. It does not matter who a person is, stranger, sibling, cousin, friend, classmate, coworker, etc. If she or he demonstrates honesty, directness, hard work, dignity, and justice, then the person is worthy to be around, work or study with, hire or befriend. All right. Now, I can't go on one side of the continent and not come over the other side of the continent. And Kofi is going to be familiar with this. The Orisha reveal all sides of life to us, and we are taught to honor and embrace the contrasting, sometimes opposing facets of any being, thing, or situation. Our tradition also recognizes the value of middle road, the importance of staying balanced between life's extremes. Our teachings say that the clearest, most favorable route through life's rocky terrain is the road of coolness. We call this Oritutu, cool-headedness, the path that is neither too hot nor too cold. Kofi, why did I say all of that?
Go read it again. But you talking about Oritutu? I know. I mean, and you probably is you talking about because I mentioned it a while ago. I mentioned Oritutu, and I added the slide for a reason, and I added the slide because of my own, and that is because something upset me today. You know what I'm talking about. Something upset me today. We had a discussion about it, and you said when you said Iwa Pele. So when you said Iwa Pele to me, I immediately, I thought about Oritutu. So I cooled down. I said, I'm just saying, and I calmed down. So I put the slide up a while ago to say that cool-headedness goes with EY Pele. But I don't what you trying to get me to say?
You already said it. You just said it.
Okay. Because I mean, we have to keep a cool-headedness. We have to keep order it tutu. Like I said earlier, we're gonna be faced with all types of things in our life. People are gonna say, People are going to do things that we're going to like, but we must refrain and stay in good character at all times. So we must stay with a cool headedness, orderly tutu.
All right. So thank you for saying that. Now, I don't know if you touched on page 197 in the Ma'at book.
No, let me hold on. Go ahead, Bill. I ain't gonna stop you.
Living a moral life, one does not need a religion to live in a moral way, but an internal code of ethics that values right over wrong and just over unjust. What we come to understand is right and wrong evolves over time as we learn from our environment, those around us, directly and indirectly, and our own internal responses to both. We can choose to help our internal morality to evolve over time by cultivating intelligence of the heart, which goes back to the point of the whole thing about Ori Tutu and Iwa Pele and the principles of Ma'at and the maxims of Patah Hotel. All of that wisdom that has been put forth really means something. And we have to hold each other accountable. So it is okay for us to call out bad character or instigation or misrepresentation. You know what I mean? So if we don't force these issues on other people or force them to change their position or the way they interact, then you create chaos. But you know, like the saying goes, and Asar can attest to this, out of chaos comes what?
Confusion, chaos.
That's
Where out of
right.
chaos well, go ahead. You say out of what now?
Out of chaos comes what?
I said the wrong thing.
Out of chaos is fat.
Yeah. So that's it, man. That's all I wanted to just add my little 2 cents in there. Brother Ben, I see Brother Ben in the building.
Black Panther in the building.
Hey, can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah, you good. What's going on?
Lafayette Mandela, Vivi Fahudier. I'm just listening, brother. Peace to the panel. Peace to the family watching.
That's all right. All right, we're gonna move to the next. Be careful about the company you keep. Be careful of whom you associate with, regardless of what other profession they might not truly live moral values. It is human to imitate the habits of those whom we interact. We advertently adopt their interests, their opinions, their values, and their habits and their interpreting of events. And like I said, this slide speaks to me because I was saying earlier, that's why at one point I worked very hard to stop working for people because I didn't want to be engaged with other people that may not practice what I practice or deal with moral ethics or moral values or good character. So I try to restrain myself from working in those type of environments. Even with me, I have friends on social media. I don't have friends in where I reside at. I choose not to have friends because I don't want to pick up on the bad habits of those schoolmates that I went to school with. Those individuals are still chasing women. Those individuals are still hanging out early in the morning, drinking beer. Those individuals.
Hey, Kofi, would you say that one day they was doing something about the barrel? You said something about a barrel.
Yeah, about a barrel. That's what I'm talking about. Up early in the morning, by the barrel, drinking beer. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, you country as hell, boy.
I'm like, what you talking about, a barrel? Like, hey, man, a barrel, they got a bonfire out there.
Oh, yeah.
I can picture Kofi over there with him with a bottle.
Over there by the hay.
Yeah.
By the dust bowl. Where do you live, man?
I'm in Mississippi, bro. You know I'm in Mississippi.
We ain't got no
But
barrels in the shot neither, man. Ain't no barrels in the Windy City.
oh, well, we got plenty. We got plenty of them here. Plenty of
You need to move.
them. But yeah, you know, just I avoid wasting time with people or wasting time with people that may uh you know that may not practice good character or may not have good moral values or moral ethics. So I try to stay away because I'll give you an example. I moved back here a year and 8 months ago, and I don't fool with nobody, but the particular people that I used to deal with, they curse a lot. Even my family, they curse a lot. I don't even go around my family. But me being around them, I picked up a bad habit. I hadn't cussed in 13 years. And as soon as I moved back here and over months of hearing certain words, I began to pick up those certain words because I hung around certain family members. And we're going to get into that and why I stopped hanging around certain family members, a slide that I picked. Um, but I just, you know, we just need to stay away from those people that may practice those bad habits, and those people that may practice, that may have those types of bad habits. We got to start calling them out on these things, and it's nothing wrong with calling people out. I've been a Mason for 13 years. I'm proud to say I'm a Mason. I know some people have a problem with it. That's why I wore a Masonic shirt yesterday on the show, because somebody on the show, on the Master show, I had a Masonic shirt on probably 2 months ago. Someone had a problem with me with the shirt on, so I put another shirt on yesterday doing the show. But we said we will reward our brothers of all his faults and his endeavors. So we go to these individuals and we call them out on the issues that they may have, because masonry, it says it takes a good man and makes them better. So it's talking about applying those different applications, practice, those moral values, those moral ethics, taking those things and applying it to your everyday life, which makes you a better person, which makes you a better father, a better man in society, a better brother, a better sister, and so forth. So it's nothing wrong with calling people out on their bad character. My brother said some things today, didn't mention no name, but he called some people out on bad character, on certain things, and certain people take certain things the wrong way. And if I'm out of line, I want somebody to ward me of all my faults or in my endeavors. You see what I'm saying? But we have to stay away from people that are practicing these bad behaviors. That's why I don't associate myself with certain people. That's why I'm not a YouTuber. I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos because of the foolishness that goes on the platform. But go ahead. Anybody else?
When you get yourself, when you really work on yourself and your character, man, you won't have to stay away from certain people. They'll stay away from you. Trust me. Because you won't have anything in common anymore.
Right.
Like you said, they like to go out and do all types of things. And when they see that you're not engaging in that anymore, when they see that you are working on yourself and your life with your family, you won't have to avoid them or anything, you know, and it's okay. You know, people outgrow people. That's just life. Everything transforms and everything evolves. So you just outgrow people at certain stages of your life. I think it's that old Southern saying that says, you know, some people are leaves, some people are branches, some people are roots. So let the leaves blow.
Anybody else before I move to the next slide? All right, well, we're going to move on. All right, this is here. Forging strong family ties. The special relationship that unites individuals into family units are created out of love, caring, and commitment, not necessarily blood. Just because people share blood relation does not mean that they deserve to be called family. Some people have wrong ideals that family wrong. I mean, that family equals blood relations, and often overlook good people who have helped turn terms in life. Oh man, let me see what that is. Me texting and talking last night and messed up a darn slide. But I go back to it in life because they are not blood related. Furthermore, they make excuses for wrongdoings of others and permit them to hang around just because they are blood related. This is wrong. People should be judged on their own merit. If someone demonstrates that he cares for you by making sure your life, IG, the things you need moving forward, including opportunities, material things, objective material thing. Hold on. Objective material things. Then this is family. If someone is blood related to you but mistreat you and does not demonstrate any care of concern, then this person is not family. Let people who love and take care of you know that you value them. So I mean, and I wanted to throw this in here because the people on the panel. I said this a while back here. Me and my mom got mad at me. Ooh, it's been a couple of years ago. I told my mom that I don't associate with a lot of people in my family, and I don't consider these people family because my blood are certain things that they do, and certain things that I'm just not gonna condone, and they know I'm gonna call them out on certain things. And these people that I have on the panel, I consider these individuals my family. That's why they on the panel. Asar Em Ka, that's my brother. Ini Herit Shawn, that's my brother. Benjamin Njai, that's my brother. That's my teacher. Vyasa Niccolo, that's my brother. Setepenre, those are my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I associate myself with them because I learn from them, and then they exhibit uh what I'm looking for. They set the example. So they set the example for me, and also I can bring them around my kids because they are set that same type of example. They demonstrate good character all the time because they understand that's what it's all about, cultivating your character. Also, you know, calling people out like we talked about, and Sean talked about this a while ago. You know what I'm saying? People have to be judged on their own merit. We had to start calling these people out, in which I just talked about. We had to start calling these people out that is exhibiting this bad character. It's nothing wrong with calling people out when they're exhibiting bad character, but every time we call certain people out for not demonstrating good character, I don't say anything, but I get upset with people because people who acknowledge Africa, who say they are African or they from these certain tribes, but I can't take you serious when I see your actions. When I see your actions, I see how you treat people. You know, you make me scratch my head. You contradicting yourself because when you're dealing with African traditions and culture, you're dealing with you're dealing with cultivating your character. You're dealing with good character. Again, you're dealing with generosity. You're dealing with acknowledging other people's existence, other people beings. You're dealing with respect and etc. and etc. And a lot of these individuals out here in the so-called country's community is not exhibiting it. And then when you call them out on certain things, they get offensive and then they want to attack you because you trying to call them out on the things that they doing, especially when they say they something. That's why I don't take a lot of these individuals serious. You say you something that you're not. You're not exhibiting who you say you are. I'm not saying that people that say they're African or these ethnic groups, certain people in these ethnic groups do not practice, that are all good. But again, they got places for certain people to do that. But when you dug into the traditions and the cultures, you understand it's all about being the highest humanitarian as possible. It's all about cultivating and demonstrating good character. You know what I'm saying? Getting along with one another and so forth. Also, it was something else I wanted to say that I seen in here. Let the people take it. Man, I don't know. Go ahead.
Do not be proud and arrogant with your knowledge. Consult and converse with the ignorant and the wise, for the limits of art are not to reach. No artist ever possesses the perfection to which he should aspire. Good speech is more hidden than green stone emeralds, yet it may be found among maids at the grindstone.
Hey, you know what? You just stole what I that's what I was gonna read. That's exactly what I was gonna read after the teachers of Patah. Yeah. See, great minds think alike. Anybody else, man?
Hey, real quick, my book is in my car, and I'll admit, family, yeah, I'm having a lazy
You owe
moment.
us 20 push-ups.
Okay, no problem. Um, I think I spoke to you, in fact, Brother Sean, about this the last time we were, maybe not yesterday, but the last time when we did the presentation of reprogramming the African American mind. You had asked me something out of the pages of my art, the book of my art. What do I, what would I thumb to and turn to and recommend, or something that really stands out to me? And I was wondering if any of the brothers could pull up the chapter where it talks about the 13 first for children, being that I'm in that every day, you know.
Yeah, I think that's page 230, 232, I think. Yeah, 233, 232, 233. I was right. Shoot, I ain't playing.
Read.
Read. Read it for you.
Yeah, please.
Love self first. First know yourself, love and respect yourself. Then you can know, love, and respect others. African first. First love your own people as you would love yourself, and then you can genuinely love others. Family first. First fulfill family responsibilities, and then you can take on the others' responsibilities. Internal first. First value what is in you, your family, and your community. Then value what is outside of you, your family and community. Ma'at first. First make your heart perfect, and then you can develop your mind and body. Deeds first. First value deeds, then words. What you do determines your worth. Hard work first. First give your best work, then relax and accept praise and reward. Simplicity first. First value the basics, then more complex things. Strong first. First honor the strong, the righteous, the dedicated, the very best, and then the weak. Small first. First attend to the small, then the vast. Self correction first. First criticize and correct yourself, then others. Self reliance first. First rely on and defend yourself, then others. Wisdom first. First seek knowledge and then spiritual guided scientific action. I'm going to repeat that again.
Oh.
First seek knowledge
Mm.
and then spiritually guided scientific action.
Mm.
Real important. Something that is definitely exemplified when it comes to playing specifically in the djembe orchestra of West Africa. Djembe orchestra comes from what used to be known as the Malian Empire, in the area primarily where we talk about Mande speakers and the Mande people and that Meta ethnicity. And djembe, definitely you have to have good character in order to play. Now, that's not to say that people don't practice Iwa Baruru and still can get down on drums. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Because anybody could develop a skill, right?
Yeah.
And be talented. But what I'm talking about is the true essence, the true spirit of djembe, what it really means. Akaran, Iko, learn again, again. Kabin, Kafo, let's play together in Malinke. These are things that you have to be able to exemplify when you playing music together of any sort. It doesn't just apply to West Africa, any sort of music. Musicians and artists must learn to play together. You got to hear everybody and yourself. That's all I want to say. I don't want to hog the mic.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I want to say something. I know it's often frowned upon, but to me, wisdom is wisdom. Good advice is good advice. And I believe one of the sisters, I may not be sure, in the chat room that we see often in here is Hebrew. My favorite personal passage from the Bible, this is the only one you often see me quote, is it's better to hear the rebukes of the wise than the praises of the fool. And I feel like that correlates with the previous two slides and everything that's been spoken within the last 5 or 10 minutes. That it's better to hear the rebukes of the wise than the praises of a fool. I'm going to chime out and just kind of hopefully let that sit on the minds of people in the conversation, because I don't want to get to talking. I'm going to jump right back out, but that's something to think about. It's better to hear the rebukes of the wise than the praises of a fool.
Anybody else? We'll go on to the next slide.
Yeah, man.
Wait.
I just want to it's off the slide, but I just want to say this real quick. You've already said it, but I just think that it just needs to continue to be mentioned that when you study Africa, no matter what part, when you study different cultures in Africa, no matter what part, when you go inside of the tribes and you start looking at different secret societies and certain rituals or their cosmogony, and so on and so forth. Inside of their spiritual beliefs, it is centered in guiding principles and moral living, no matter what it is. It is what the Remix call ma'at, and then character. They are cohesive. These two things are cohesive no matter what tribe it is. I don't care if it's a tribal war going on. These things are cohesive among the people. I don't care if a colonizer comes in and start converting people. It is cohesive. They then people who do not convert to these religious mannerisms of the colonizers, they run to the forest, and then they are called the forest people. And in the forest, they still hold true to natural order, ma'at, the guiding principles and moral living. And if we argue with Hebrews, we argue with Arabs, we argue with all these other people who cling to the oppressive religions, and even the curious, and all of these people who are influenced with these Abrahamic faiths outside of the continent. However, the question was asked, is African spirituality a religion? And I think Ben did a good job in his presentation defining that. But somehow, semantics come into play because the words is interchanged so much. But if you really look at character building from the perspective of all of these tribes and all of these different cultures on the continent of Africa, and you compare it and contrast it with the religious practice and belief systems outside of the continent of Africa, they're not centered the way that African spirituality is. It's not the same. It's cultivating your character. It is preparing you for more than just that. It is about the community. It's we. It's not I. It's not a self-sustaining thing. This is not an individual thing. This is a we type of a thing. And I don't think many people get that when that comes up. So what I wanted to just kind of, I don't want to break everything up, but I do want to share this real quick. This is from The Healing Wisdom of Africa by Malidoma Patrice Sommet. Now, you may have heard Asar Em mention this book in his presentation the other day. So I'm going to read something real quick because there was something that he didn't touch on, but I'm just going to give you a piece. What the indigenous world offers to modern world, he's saying indigenous meaning Africa, to the rest of the world. to basically modern world, which is the Western world, centers around the understanding of the concepts of healing, ritual, and community. Indigenous communities have since time and moral focused their lives and their existence on these issues. Healing is central because it was learned from a very early that human beings are vulnerable to psychological and biological breakdown, and that this general instability touches all aspects of their existence. They have also learned that the natural environment in which they live is made up of subtle invisible things that, if manipulated in certain ways, can affect the conditions that they intend to heal. Ritual is the technology that allows the manipulation of these subtle energies. Community is important because there is an understanding that human beings are collectively oriented. The general health and well-being of an individual are connected to a community and are not something that can be maintained alone or in a vacuum. Healing, ritual, and community. These three elements are vitally linked. That's all I got, Kofi.
No doubt. You just always want to throw that darn book in my face. Go ahead.
Bombs. I'm gonna just tell you all, on a more serious note, even, because some of this, like, I'm a little bit older than some of the panel, not all of the panel, but I was in the streets, you understand, where somebody, if you ever had somebody try to get rid of you, for lack of a better term, or you try to get rid of them back, you learn a lot about who you are, your nature, what you're capable of, what the people around you are capable of, and what your enemy is capable of. And your enemy is not your brother. And so where I could have got rid of somebody, and some deaths were caused on both sides of our particular cliques, at some point in time, I had to say, I'm older and I'm wiser. And now that most of his clique is gone, I can get rid of him. But that wasn't the point in the first place. I had to look at how the beef started. Most people wouldn't do this, right? So you know me as Asar Em Ka. If you dig back into my past, you'll find names like Bumpy Johnson or Bump Chill, things of that nature, that were earned. So I had to look back at what caused the beef, and I had to be the bigger person and squash it. And it's because of the ethics of my art that I was able to call to that nature and go to the younger brother and sit him and his clique down and actually say, look, this is yours. Do what you're going to do. But when you do it, I need you to do it like this. Otherwise, we will clash. It's that simple. So I had to step to the young brother who was misguided in his ways, still knuckleheaded, still, crazy, especially after what we did. And he accepted my apology. I accepted his. And we squashed beef, and our neighborhood is better for it. It's better for it. One of our other leaders in our community, his name is Brother Jeff. The Brothers in the Heck in the Chair Facebook build, see me post about him all the time. This is a former drug dealer from the hood turned activist and political leader, and our whole community will move at his statements. But the way I knew him initially was from hustling. It was from hustling and shooting the original Legion of Doom, which started here in Brick City before my partner Keith Murray started his. And it's because he has a code of ethics that he relies upon in an African spirituality that we are able to move behind him, because we're able to forgive, come back as a family, understand the betrayal in the heart that happened, and then re-hem the heart back up and grab our brother and pull him in and allow him to do great things. So as you hear us just discussing ma'at and morals and ethics, this is the stuff that you should be taking out to your community. Go sit down with these gang members. Go sit down with these people who are, in trouble. Go sit down with the crackhead right? A lot of you have never sat down with a crackhead and actually try to rehabilitate them. The codes of ethics will rehabilitate a human being and bring a soul from nothing back to something.
That's good. That's good, Asar.
Anybody else? I'm gonna move on to the next. Ben must have jumped out of here.
Yeah, I don't think he on here no more.
Yeah, he left a minute ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
man. He be sleep.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate him jumping on for a minute, gracing us with his presence. I'll go to the next slide. Okay, it says Iwa is being. We know Iwa means character. Iwa Riri is good being. And Iwa is being, and being is Iwa. Iwa Pele is patience and calm being. Hence, the serene being is a being with harmonious spirit, with sound spiritual wisdom, reliable understanding, and devoted knowledge. Sharpen your knowledge to become a good being, which is Iwa Pele. So that's what we've been stressing. I got a slide after this because I did this for a reason. Because we've been talking about being, we've been talking about acknowledging being, we've been talking about becoming the highest humanitarian. We're talking about the human being, the person, cultivating good character, moral ethics, and values. Now, bringing the best of who you are into being. The best of you, the best of who you are lives within you and depends on how well you embrace the principles of Ma'at into practice. And again, what we're talking about these principles. When we're talking about Iwa Pele, talking about Ma'at and those other terms while ago that I talked about, we're talking about taking those principles and applying that application to your everyday life. We have to put those things into practice, is what it's talking about. Living purposely and listening to your heart. The best of who you are may soon be fully evident to yourself and others, or at a very least, you will notice change in yourself for the better. And again, those principles will make you a better person. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to make us better human beings. That is what it's trying to do. When we take those principles and we apply those principles, or we apply those applications to our everyday life, then we can't do nothing but strive and become better for ourselves and amongst one another. Anybody else?
Yeah, go ahead. Who was gonna go? Go ahead, T'Challa.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick that I had this slide up too in my presentation.
Oh, did?
No, in this if we read from the same book, it's the same book I get it from, because again, I roll around with this book in my glove compartment, and people ask me, they know I'm a reader off the bat because this is what's coming out of my mouth. And they're like, well, what books are you reading? And then I pop this right out and I give it to them. I set it in their lap. And then they're like, oh, well, so what else do you do? And again, so it's a constant, we you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. The whole integrity aspect of this. You grow up and you come from neighborhoods where, people just ain't around no more. You know what I'm saying? What did they say in the movie Black Panther, where the Killmonger was a boy, and he went to see his, in the afterlife, and he was like, "No tears for me," and he said, people around here die all the time, and he was stone cold, and that's what's happening. We are becoming so cold blooded because we just, oh well, so and so ain't around. Oh well, such and such ain't around. What you mean? Half the people you went to high school with ain't even around no more for whatever reason. We really need to reevaluate what we think we're doing out here. and stop just out here making decisions. Truly bring the best of who we are into being. Otherwise, who knows what the next few years is gonna hold? Because we can't keep like this. Because it's too much bloodshed. I mean, I'm rolling through the neighborhoods in the aftermath of it happening all day, every day, and I'm just looking like when do we at least take the time to truly be out in the community, like Brother Asar said, and really be talking to people? You can't shy away from it. You got to be on the ground, in the schools, in the communities, in the park districts, talking to these babies, doing food drives, book bag drives, like Brother Sean, doing presentations on YouTube, speaking to people every day about good character in Iwa Pele, and to shy them away from Iwa Baruru, because we all fall short. We don't romanticize ourselves, but we all fall short. But this is why we do these types of presentations and these discussions, to remind us all, because we are all included. Excuse me, to exemplify good character. That was it.
Okay, where to add to that, that our greatest success comes when we have properly studied our conditions and developed necessary principles to guide our thoughts and actions. Our greatest success comes when we are morally sound, scientifically prepared, decisive, relentless, firm, and yet fair. Our greatest success comes when we properly understand and appreciate our place in history and are internally driven to do what must be done to improve the lives of our people. Our greatest success comes when we faithfully adhere to our own guiding principles and trust our own hearts. Our greatest success comes when we recognize and practice that the most determined and prepared always win in the end. Our greatest success comes when we do right for right's sakes. Our greatest success comes when we live morally, sound, humbly, modest, and in simple manner. Our greatest successes come when we take the initiative to do what we know must be done and not wait around for others. Our greatest successes come when we fiercely and humbly still ourselves mentally, morally, and maritally. Now, our greatest success comes when we transform theory to practice.
Hmm. Anybody else?
Powerful, my brothers. I'm gonna say ETEM hit up to the panel. Love my brothers, and ETEM hit up to the chat. Love you all too. Uncle the Jet, life, stability, and strength.
These are my references I use for uh, the whole slide thing, which was a discussion, but I wanted to actually give some visuals of what we were going to be talking about. So again, I used my Art Guide Principles of Moral Living by Ifa Kilimanjaro, PhD, Takao Kilimanjaro, PH Shahara, Aneb, Saber Tagaba, Haru, the Elder, Flash of the Spirits of African and African American Art and Philosophies by Robert Ferris Thompson, Encyclopedia of African Religion by Malafe Kente Ashante. You see this book a lot in a lot of our presentations. Finding the Souls of the Path for the Rishos by the West African spiritual traditionist Tobe Molera Corella. And I use something from Stanford EDU entry when I was talking about African ethics. So these were my reference. All of them were booked except the last one. Again, please go subscribe to the Seshuma Ani Metaneta channel, which is a group of like-minded individuals who are aspiring to be scribes, who are studying the language, which is the Ronnie Kemet, and the writing script, which is the Sesh Metaneta. Please go support our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page on Facebook, which is Seshuma Ni Metaneta as well. Please go subscribe to Kofi Piesie TV. If you hadn't subscribed, please subscribe. It is the channel that takes the black man, the black woman, and child Eurocentric mind and Africanize it. Also, please go and subscribe to the Mossy Warrior Clan. Uh, please subscribe. Continue to support us. We appreciate y'all. Anybody else? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Anybody else got anything before we get out of here? We've been on here 2 hours and we're finna get ready to cut the show.
Yeah, you've been on here talking for 2 hours, and I just spent 15 minutes talking. That's it. 15. That's it. But anyway, man, on a brighter note, I want to leave the people with this. On a universal level, the concept of my art expresses the harmony of elements is clearly established, each in its right place. This is the concept of order, whole, the cosmos. On a political level, the concept of my art works against injustice. It is in the name of my art that the Pharaoh subjugates rebels and dominates foreign lands. On an individual level, my art embraces specific rules for living in concert with moral principles. Whoever lives according to these rules and principles achieves. Oh, Lord. No, I got too many things in my hand at one time. Universal order in his or her own life in practical terms and lives in harmony with the ordered whole. The most accomplished, useful, and appropriate human actions are circumscribed in the cosmological order as symbolized by the way of the Pharaoh's name is written inside of a circular cartouche or chenille, a perfect geometrical shape representing the vitalizing sun. I wanted y'all to hear the book sound. African philosophy, the Pharaonic period, 2780 to 330 BCE, otherwise known and written by the great philosopher himself, Theophilo Bangoura. So when I speak, you know, I got my African text too. And I got some more I wanted to say, but you know what I'm saying? Iwa Pele tonight. But my brother Kofi had that Iwa Barubu going, boy. He was fired up. He was woo. Hey, y'all should have seen the red on Kofi's face. He was fired up. If I could play the audio, woo wee. Boy, if I let y'all hear this boy Kofi, boy, I was like, Kofi. I was like, this, what the hell, Kofi? Kofi was so, I'm tired of this. I'm sick of it. I was like, Kofi, come on, brother.
It's just crazy, though. It's just too many
It
people speaking on
is.
stuff that don't even know. Why are you going to speak on something you hadn't even studied and, you know, studying?
Ain't got the first book.
Right, that's crazy to me, man. I'm just getting sick and tired of it, man. And that's bad character.
I'm not saying that you can't talk. I ain't saying that you can't talk. What I'm saying is at least have something that you can source, not just your emotions and your feelings, because that's what you're doing. You're projecting your feelings and your emotions out to the people, and they thinking that you backing this up with some real information. And then you fall into that complex of, like you said, the church, the preacher. You know what I'm saying? You following again, you know, like what people see. This is what people don't know is that we are joined at the hip with the squad. So just because we joined at the hip with the squad, does that mean that we always got to go down the same path? No. We got our own path. You know what I'm saying? Like the Seshu, we got our own path. The Masi, we got our own path. The squad, they got their own path. So cohesively, people must start listening a little bit better to when people saying science. When you hear science, that means scrutinize what you hear. Whether it's from Kofi, whether it's from Setep, whether it's from T'Challa, whether it's from Vyasa, whether it's from myself, whether it's from Brother Ben, Asar, Dr. Ma'at, Naya, Nahisi. I'm leaving out some names. Asar Em Ka. Don't matter. Yeah, man. I'm in my Aunt Ra, a Z, anybody in any of the families, because y'all know who the families are, and we all tied together. We this big umbrella, and we here. So just everybody's talking methodology, but now we're using biases and our emotions. So we're gonna use science only when it sound good, and then we're gonna reject science when it comes to okay, because this person said it. No, continue to be scientific. Continue to be scientific. Continue to study Africa. Continue to understand the culture. Continue to practice things that are close and near and dear. Continue to strive for greatness. Continue. Don't stop because someone says this is not that or that is not this. You you ain't heard the argument in its entirety. It's really not an argument in its entirety. It's a discussion. Hasn't been had. An argument is when they start putting it to paper and books start coming out. So, trust and believe, man. We all are striving for the same thing. We have the same goal. That's why we love our brothers and sisters over there and everywhere else. We have the same common goal. Is to liberate the minds and continue to bring Africa to you, because we know some of y'all don't have everything going on. Tep had something to say though.
No, I ain't had nothing to say.
Oh, you gonna leave me out there to dry, because Kofi finna give us his 15-minute closing, and I was trying to buy some time.
No, I ain't. I'm done.
Oh, now you done. Now you done talking. You had an attitude all day. You didn't cussed up a storm. You didn't threw books in your house. You didn't threw your head down on the ground. You didn't.
Man, what we
Let
missed.
me say this real quick. Like, what does it matter, man? Like, really, like, because I don't even get the argument. Is it spirit? Is African spirituality? Is this like I don't even get it, man. I'm just like, what's it's always something new to argue about, man. I just don't get that, man. Like, I just really don't get it. Like, so I'm just sitting back, man. I don't get like what's the big deal? Like, that's what I want to know. What's the big deal?
Well, to some people, it's an excuse for them not to study the culture. And to be honest, that's where we and I think I can speak for us, Kofi. I think that's where we get offended a little bit, is because it gives them some people that are ignorant to the fact and not too privy for the spiritual systems on the continent of Africa. It gives them an excuse not to even pay attention to Africa. So it says it gives them an excuse to say, I'm African, but I ain't got to do this. You're right. You don't have to do that, right? But because you don't have to do that doesn't mean that you should start condemning those who do it, or to say, oh, that's just another belief, or that ain't that, or this ain't this, and then all you need is science. No, it's not, because if it was all you need, our ancestors been studying nature and trying to gain knowledge, since science means knowledge, since for a long time. Now, the problem is technology. They didn't advance the technology. But that's a whole nother thing, and it gets difficult there. But I just really think that some people are using it as an excuse to belittle African spirituality and also not study African culture in its entirety, only to cling on to the cliches of Africa and then look to it for, they did this in Africa. This come from Africa. This little one uppers, so to say, not necessarily real knowledge, just a one upper on a Hebrew or on a Moor or on a Christian or on an somebody practicing Islam. You know what I'm saying? They ain't using it in proper context. They don't want to go in and
I thought it was people that like what's the argument? Is African spirituality a science? Like what's they saying?
Well, Asar's argument is that it's an art. Jawuz is a philosophy, and in art, he's defining it as beautiful, like a silhouette painting, as other expressions of art in African culture. He's saying some things like that, and he's saying some of the things that were discovered in the spiritual systems that the diviners, the Babaluals have, the priests have conjured up, were by chance and not necessarily not necessarily using the scientific method per se to test over and over and over and try to falsify their creations or what they discovered and so on. Um it's a little tricky a little bit without understanding everything in this context, because some stuff, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's over a lot of people's head. They don't understand what Asar's saying. They just understand that he rejecting something. Enough for them to not, like I said, study the culture. And then they make an excuse, and you know, we spend a lot of money on books and information and trying to extract that information and put it toward the people so that they can see for themselves what is what. And you basically are putting up a little shade and be like, yeah, that's cool, but you know what I'm saying? You need to be more scientific. Yeah, that's cool, but you still need to do more scientific. The mask and all of that stuff, yeah, that's cool too, but you need to be more scientific. There's things behind those masks. There's things behind those rituals. There's things behind the medicines, the divining, all the other intricate pieces that make up African culture. It's not just centered on one thing or another. That's why I read the piece about the community, because that's big. And I'm not shunning any of that. It's a lesson in this, and we're gonna get to that down the end of the road. But the argument of technology seems to be blended into it, Setep, and that's the argument that he said in the end, technology or science wins, because they use technology to conquer the continent, and they did use technology.
Who said that?
Asar saying the Europeans and the Arabs, they used advanced technology actually to win in the end. And you had some people that said that all we need to do is get back to African spirituality and we can win. That's not true.
Oh, okay, I see.
You know what I'm saying? And I think those people, he was addressing those people. He also was addressing all the other people that have been on other platforms and have been teaching misinformation on other platforms and have been trying to make religions out of certain things. See, with African spirituality, you don't need missionaries. You don't need no missionary. You don't need a salesman. That's what I call mission. You don't need them at all. You know, you either go come into it or you ain't.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So again, my angle is coming to it from a West African musical perspective, in terms of how I look at Africa and study it, because that was my first real introduction to a lot of things in depth was via the music and the culture out of West Africa. And so, speaking to the conversation of the whole spookism or African spirituality, where we sitting here doing rituals and things and people think it's meaningless, I'm going to say this from a brother who practices and who plays these instruments and has been for a long time. There are things that the human body goes through and experience in what we call like trance-like states, or in terms of being zoned out, when you say I'm in my zone and you just kind of doing things for hours and you don't even realize you've been researching for hours and writing and
energy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. To the conversation, tap it into the energy, the source. That is what we all doing everything for. We eat to do what? Replenish what?
Energy.
And why do we? Well, brother Kofi don't sleep. You know, he like a iRobot over here. Like he just. Brother Kofi.
That's why he eat all day. Snacking all day. Shrimp tacos. Trying to mimic Setep. Setep couldn't make no tacos without nobody else trying to intertwine in his mix.
Well.
Oh, no.
I made some pasta. You gonna make that too?
Tomorrow.
See?
But
go ahead.
Oh, y'all crazy, man. I just want to say
That's
that,
my brother, man. You know, my brother.
um, you know, for people that don't play any instruments or don't deal with any type of African drums, like we do presentations and there's been some excellent information brought forth. But what do you guys always talk about is like living an experience and actually, this is what tonight's show was about, is actually demonstrating what we research. And it's not about, I think I heard Brother Sanjetti say this many times, that a representation is a representation. You're presenting it again. So what is the initial presentation in nature? And we have different things that we use, and we utilize technology to better these things. Because djembe today is not the same djembe that it was when it was created in the year 1000. The Numu blacksmiths of the Malinke people did not have the same djembes back then that we have today. The modern Numu do carve djembes today, and other people who have learned the crafts, but you know, the blacksmiths often, carry the technology in the village because they're changing things and they're manipulating the iron and the elements. And there's a host of other things that we really haven't touched on in terms of blacksmiths and what they do too. You got to think about it. That's a pretty important role in the village.
Yeah, they had a high status in the in society. They had a high society in society. Those blacksmiths that did those things you talking about.
Exactly.
Look,
Oh, go
hey,
ahead, Brother Sean.
let me say this real quick, bro, because you on point. You're right and exact. Um, man, I used to call literally everything spooky because people in the community have started to spook out African spirituality. And I'm not saying spook out in the sense of where you don't understand it. I'm saying spook out in the sense of trying to, pseudoscience, to incorporate pseudoscience into African spirituality, and then infuse occultist practices and principles inside of African spirituality. So I understand how it can turn people off. I get that. But when you start reading and you start studying African spirituality, and the more books you accumulate and the more knowledge that you gain from that, you start to understand that you see it differently than other people. And I said that to say this: Asar is not a fool. He ain't playing around. He's not. What he's Because he, with them same eyes, he is an initiate. But I think that he's trying to force a paradigm shift because he thinks it's making people lazy and not want to study science and reject science because of the people who have infused pseudoscience into African spirituality. So he's saying, no, 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 no. But, you know, I may be speaking for him, but he can speak for himself, which I think he's doing right now. However, I stand with Brother Ben. I stand with the Masi. I stand on African spirituality. I stand on it being it having science in it. I stand on other parts of it not being scientific and can't be tested. I stand with that. I understand when I say it has a level of spookiness, I'm not saying it as a negative thing. I am saying that there are some things that the common person will look at and perceive it to be scared of. Some people don't like to see a sacrifice. I have adapted myself toward certain things. I don't mind blood hour been a thing. No big deal to me. But it's some things that come along with the culture that when they make those sacrifices, are you understanding that this is not just a sacrifice for this, that, and the third? This has something to do with energy.
That's right, man. That's right.
And that is what people do not understand is it has to deal with energy. When you start talking about sacrificing these pigeons, ducks, goats, other bird, whatever, to certain deities or whatnot, or the ancestors or whatnot, or calling on the ancestors or invoking the ancestors. It's about energy. Let's just keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? It might have its level of a little extra to it or whatever that they call juju, but it's about energy. Without energy, you ain't got nothing. Energy can't be created nor destroyed, so it's about the transfer.
So that's your stance on it, right?
Yeah. I got more to it than that.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's the opposing stance?
Well, there's really no opposing. To be honest, Asar's in line with energy.
That's right.
I'm confused. That's what I'm saying. I'm confused. Like, what is the argument? Because it seems like everybody
the argument against like I said earlier, people have been trying to infuse things into African spirituality and have taken things out of it. Asar's like, well, juju ain't gonna win in the end because
you're gonna have to watch what he did.
You're gonna have to watch it to his position. And he's gonna tell you in that presentation that he does not reject people practicing African spirituality. And he calls it a religion in his words, but a few of the people that he sourced don't see it as a religion. They specifically state, Kofi, when you watch that video today on how to be a man by Melanoma Some, in his opening statements, he says what? He says spirituality like 3 or 4 times. And he looking at these, and he talks about white people to their face.
Yep.
He talks about them in his books and to their face because he looks at them as colonizers. He says the colonizers have changed things. He is a good source because Asar used him in several of his work. You have had, man, look, we have been in a phase of not knowing, not being scientific, and that's the metaphysical era. We have a lot of people that are trapped in that era because of the Bobby Hemmings, the David Blairs, the Phil Valentines, what's the other pseudo dude?
I'm trying. I got his name on my tongue. I can't even think of his name right now. But
what's the little chubby one?
Yeah.
Bobby Hemmett. That's Bobby Hemmett. Delbert Blair, Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine. It's another one somewhere, but
I can't think of his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of his name, but I done watched him a few times in back in the day. Pseudo.
Yeah, man. So what it is you know, Asar's push and others push, even and Ank's push is for people to be more scientific. Yeah, we can scrutinize African spirituality. I'm all for that. Let's scrutinize some things, and what don't work, let's get rid of it, and what work, let's keep. Let's add to it.
People keep.
What's wrong with that?
They missing it. That what you saying? They missing that part. You know, that's what we saying. You know, keep what we can keep. You know what I'm saying, and throw away what we don't need.
Yeah, but we can't get that point out because we have people who, yeah. See, Juju, I knew he was clearing some things up because he knew that he was confusing people, but he wasn't trying to do it intentionally. If he was pissing people off, because he'll piss you off and then he'll go back and clarify. I knew I'm gonna watch it, but what I'm saying is that we have to just be a little careful because he knows now that some people are taking him out of context, and he reading posts. He know people are taking him out of context, and he's not saying don't practice African spirituality, don't study African culture, don't do any of that. He's just saying, you know, we do need to be more scientific and look for ways to fight science with science and not devoid ourselves of science. That's his position. He's going to hold firm to that, and people are going to stand with him on that. Now, the confusion that can come in other aspects is going to be the other detailed narratives, when you talk about art, philosophy, semantics, that's his lane. I can't argue with him about that, and I'm not. I can go into a few reference PhDs that I have here that are all in Africa. I got some African sources. I'm getting my African sources up, baby, and I'm telling you, it. You know, I'm gonna be able to put some information out there from a exactly. We must evolve. That's his whole point. Is we must, and he's right. So
And we
we
ain't got
do
a problem with that. We you know what I'm saying? We ain't saying that. We not saying we have a problem with that.
right.
We agreeing with that. We agreeing on a whole lot of stuff. What we is upset with is
Is that other people?
right. Right. You how can you critique or talk about something that you don't know nothing about? Why are you posting stuff and putting stuff up that you don't know nothing about? So if we start to have conversations with these people that's put these things up here, they can't have a conversation. We're gonna be talking to ourselves because they not studied. We well studying these things. We well adapt into the culture and to the tradition. We study these things. This is what we do. You see what I'm saying? And you got people speaking on things that they know nothing about. And then again, it goes back to where I was frustrated and we get frustrated is people doing the same thing that they do with other people. You talk about the people that's in the mosque, you talk about people in the church, they are following people blindly because people are saying certain things and it sounds so intellectual, they sound smart. So you taking that and you running with it. You're not going back and verifying what somebody is saying. That's the only problem that I have because that's the only problem that I have. These individuals, that's why we have to be careful with what we say and how we word things, because people take things the wrong way, especially people that they ain't gonna study and do anything, and we just taking what people saying and running with it. That's why we tell you. That's why we give you our sources. Go through our sources. Vet our sources. Don't take our word for it. Do your own story. Verify for your own self. Even though we present this stuff, but go back and do your due diligence of your own study. Don't just regurgitate or parakeet what we saying or what somebody else is saying and not going to verify what they saying to be fact. We uttering off them because they sound so intellectual. Or they got a couple of books, so we want to follow them. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes back to this thing where I have a problem with now we worshiping other people like they have no flaws. So we don't have to go back and verify nothing these people are saying because we think these people are perfect and they make no mistakes. So we're going to take the information that they said and we're going to spread the information, not saying whether it's wrong or right. Even when I present things, if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. I'm not professing to say I'm the smartest person. I'm not professing to say that I'm going to make mistakes. We all going to make mistakes. Stop looking at these individuals like they're not going to make any steps. And stop if you're going to listen, or stop if you're going to watch these videos. Go back and do the work. Do the work. We doing majority of the work. We giving you the sources. So now okay, now I can go buy this, because that's been a problem in the community. People don't know where to go and what to look for. Because I was the same way back in 2011. I didn't know what to buy, what to look for, what to do what. Now you got these people doing these presentations, and we doing a lot of presentations, and we giving you sources, we giving you all types of books, journals, and things. Take this stuff and go back and go through these things, comb through these things, vet this stuff, and verify what we saying to actually be accurate or not. And then we having people now from the continent verifying a lot of things that we are saying. And we have some people that's in the tradition that can validate some of the things that we saying. Yeah, that's a go. You right in exact. So we got to stop doing that and stop just following people and work personality worshiping people, man, or thinking that people don't make no mistakes. We got to stop that. And that's the only problem that I've been having. Stop talking about stuff that you don't know nothing about.
Right, man. At least get a book, at least one book, man, where you can go on there and help you out. So the thing about when he says certain things about African spirituality or whatever, and then relate it or take science out of it. Science also, there's aspects of science that you can test that have failed as well. So that's not really a big deal to me. I don't have anything. We actually agree with a lot of things that he's actually stating, and that's why I think some people don't get it. But what they fail to realize is they immediately take a bias against a different aspect. Like Chief as an example, he took a bias immediately to Asar as an. I'm just using him as an example. That's my brother. I love him. I can call him on the phone right now. Ain't no big deal. But what I'm saying is it can get under some people's skin when certain aspects of things are said by him or shared by him that he don't understand, and he'll tell you that he don't understand it, but he just like it because somebody may have said it. But the message is getting lost, and that's what we're trying to control here. So anytime he clears anything up, man, it's always a good thing. And I think some of that was lost, and we had an opportunity there, and it was lost. But guess what? He did, and Wujawu did, and what Nine has done is they have opened the door for people to pay attention to us, because people are talking about the Amara Squad and the Masi Warrior Clan, and on this topic of spirituality and science and culture as a whole, and what it means to the entire continent of Africa and its body of understanding for the African Americans here that is trying to move things forward. So now that we have your ear and we've been screaming for your ear, hopefully people will pay more attention to the work that we have been doing and continue to shed light on that. So now you have references from all corners or aspects of any argument. But I'm glad that we actually had a discussion. I just wish that some people would just give us a chance to put all the information out there and take a non-biased approach and work with the information that they have from a non-biased perspective, and not pick and choose sides or favors, because we all the same people. We on the same team. We playing the same game. We trying to liberate the same minds. We trying to build the same legacies for everybody to move forward, and that's the whole thing. So when you see crazy posts or anything like that, don't immediately get to a negative thought in your mind. Go back to this entire presentation and what it's been about: good character, more ethics, more values, and take the proper steps in a ethical way to address certain matters, so that we don't scrutinize each other the wrong way. There's a approach, and then there's a way to do things. So in our approach, we must have Iwa Pele, and in the way that we do things, we must also show Iwa Pele, and then that way we come out morally with Ma'at, with that balance. You know what I mean? So that's all I gotta say, man. Kofi, I know you're trying to close, man, and we ran you over another hour or so, man. So I'm sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. Anybody else, man, before we close the show, man? I hope, again, man, we appreciate everybody, man, in the chat. For sharing y'all time with us, because I know y'all time is valuable, just like my time and our time is valuable. So we appreciate y'all tuning in, especially Brother Jadar. I appreciate Brother Jadar. Some of the ones that are consistent: Sister Julia, Lisa, uh, Daily News, a few other people. Overstanding Daily News.
Real quick, bro. Let me correct you real quick. Her name is Jolanda. You can't say her name right. Say Juju. She keep telling you so. Just like Monica. You keep telling you, if you can't say Monica, don't say Monica, and just say Mo. I got you. So look, that's that on that. Nah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, I appreciate everybody that's in the chat, man, and new people that's coming, and giving us a look, man, and listen to what we got to say, man. And we're gonna continue to work. We're gonna continue to put stuff out on Kofi Piesie TV. We're gonna continue to put work out on the Masi Warrior Clan. We're not gonna stop. We just hope y'all continue to pay attention. We hope you all start studying, you know what I'm saying, and stop looking at just the YouTube, because I know a lot of people just want to learn from the YouTube, which is good to look at it sometimes, but sometimes you have to do your own due diligence of work and study. But again, man, we just appreciate you, man. I really do. We appreciate you, man. Anybody else got something to say, man? We finna get up out of here. I'm hungry. I ain't ate. Anybody? All right. Nobody. Well, again, Modupe. Riri, Dua, a bit. See y'all next time. See y'all next Sun. We'll see y'all Sunday on the Monster Warrior Clan at 2 p.m. I'll be doing a presentation. I'll throw it up probably tomorrow. I'll throw like a little slideshow up tomorrow dealing with the presentation on Sunday. So we'll see y'all at 2 p.m. Sunday on the Monster Warrior Clan. I'll be dealing with a secret society from Africa. So we'll be going in depth on that secret society in Africa. We're going to cover East Africa. We're going to cover South Africa. And we're going to cover Central Africa on Sunday. Also, stay tuned. I hope for y'all to join back at 6 p.m. Sunday, too, also to the Kofi Piesie TV. I'll be presenting again. I'll be doing 2 presentations on that day. So we'll be going into the importance of music in Africa, and we'll be going into a lot of those instruments. So I'll be showing a lot of instruments and showing, going into detail about those instruments and showing some visuals. So again, Modupe, which means thank you or thanks. Morire, which means appreciate. We truly appreciate y'all and see y'all next time. We out of here. Black African power.